Happy Friday, everybody. Today is August 8th. I'm John Weigell with Maria Gharib, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. Google just dropped $1 billion to teach AI skills to university students, with over 100 schools already signing up for what might be the most expensive lesson in how to stay relevant in the job market. The bitter irony? We're training the next generation to work on the same technology that might eliminate the jobs that they're studying for. We'll get to that and the biggest business and tech headlines you gotta know right after this. HubSpot helped Tumblr solve a big problem. They needed to move fast to produce trending content, but their marketing team was stuck waiting on engineers to code every single email campaign. Now they use HubSpot's customer platform to email real-time, trending content to millions of users in just seconds. The impact? 3 times more engagement and double the content creation. Want to move fast like Tumblr? Visit HubSpot.com. Okay, so let's get started with our headlines today. First up, we're going to Peloton. Peloton's latest pivot will see the fitness company focus more on wellness, which includes sleep, stress, etc., by investing more into personalized training, its Strength Plus app, and features for meditation, sleep, and possibly nutrition. The biking doesn't seem to be working. A lot of people are selling their bikes still. Next, Warby Parker will end its home try-on program this year, as most of its customers now live within 30 minutes of one of its 300 brick-and-mortar stores. The eyeglass company will instead focus on in-person sales and virtual try-ons, trying to lure people into the store. And next, some AI news before our AI update. AI coding startup Cognition is offering buyouts to new employees from freshly acquired rival Windsurf if they don't think they can handle the company culture, which sounds pretty bad. Is it take 9 months of pay or commit to the CEO's promise of above 80-hour work weeks and 6 days in the office? Yikes, no work-life balance there. And finally here, remember when Duolingo said it was AI first and everyone just kind of lambasted them and unfollowed them? Well, it seems that they're turning a corner right now. Duolingo reported its second quarter earnings on Wednesday with a 40% jump in daily active users compared to 2024, plus a 37% rise in paid subscribers from last year. Quite the change.
Hey, I'm Joseph Cox, the host of another podcast I think you'll like, the 404 Media podcast. We're an independent news outlet covering the bleeding edge of technology and how that impacts you. Every week, we discuss our latest stories that you cannot find anywhere else. Whether that's how AI slop is spreading across the internet, how ICE surveils social media, or overlooks stories about Elon Musk's federal government takeover, we hold tech to account. Catch me and the rest of the 404 Media gang wherever you listen. Just search for the 404 Media podcast. Chat to you soon.
For more headlines and updates like that, you can come back on Monday and we'll have them for you through the week. But for right now, we are going to our AI update of the week with Maria from the Mindstream newsletter. Let's kick it off. Okay, another week. Say, Maria, welcome back. I've been sifting for AI news this week. A lot has definitely come up, as it does every week. But first, as is tradition, I wanted to know what is something that you came across in AI this past week that you thought was very interesting or weird.
Well, a lot has happened, as you said, a lot of new updates. And recently it came out that Google DeepMind just dropped their Genie 3. It looks like Sims on steroids. It's so good. It's so good. I tried out.
Wow.
I loved fan fiction. I love fantasy. Mm-hmm. It has opened a whole new horizon for me, but I think it's more for gamers. So it's a world model that lets you generate and walk through fully interactive environments from just a text prompt.
Wow.
You say, let's say, coastal cliffs during a hurricane, and it gives you that, dodging, crashing waves in real time. It feels like you're there. So you can even change the weather, make new stuff appear mid-gameplay using just words. So it's very responsive, very consistent, and absolutely beautiful.
Wow, really cool.
By the way, this isn't just about gaming. It's giving train your AI agent in limitless universe. It's like that kind of energy. And think robotics, trainings, education, or just building wild simulation environments on the fly. It's so good. The realism,
Wow.
no such thing as realism anymore. It feels like something out of a fantasy world.
Wow, that's really cool. I mean, good news for any technically minded Twilight fan fiction writers, I think.
Yeah.
Right there.
Or a gamer that wanted Twilight as a game but couldn't get it.
Or any gamers that didn't get it. Exactly.
Yeah.
You mentioned education. I wanted to talk about that for a second, especially with Google, because Google this week gave $1 billion to support AI learning at universities around the US. And that's about 100 US schools that have signed on for this so far. How important do you think it is to start people on AI education right now, especially at the college level? Because it seems like it is kind of bleeding into a lot of careers, and especially after this thing you mentioned, it could bleed into gaming as well in the future and creation of those kind of things.
Yeah, I personally believe that it's a huge move, not because I write about AI every day, but because, AI literacy is everything right now. So basically giving students free access to real world AI tools like Gemini, advanced, these kinds of stuff. It's exactly what higher education needs right now. It's one thing to teach students about AI. You can teach them about AI, but it's like a whole other world and whole other thing to let them actually use the same tools.
Right.
Driving innovation in the workplace, because the workplace requires AI. They don't require for you to understand the history behind OpenAI or Gemini, whatever. You need to know how to use it. So we're talking hands-on access to coding, research, summarization, and real-time data analysis. My absolute horrendous nightmare. I hate data analysis. It comes in and helps me a lot, honestly. So it's not just theoretical coursework. And it's not just students who win, by the way, in this. Universities get to get cloud credits to run AI-based projects without having to spend extra on infrastructure. So it's a whole full ecosystem shift, which is what we need.
Definitely.
So, anybody that is going into the workplace right now requires to have a bit of AI literacy, and it needs to start in universities, of all places.
Yeah, and it's good news, I guess, for a lot of companies too that are recruiting talent coming out of college and coming out of university, because a lot of these companies are paying for these subscriptions for like AI, so they want to know that these newcomers can actually use them. But it's kind of a weird dichotomy here, because at one point we're kind of teaching AI at universities and making that more popularized, but on another part of it is AI is still kind of impacting jobs and will kind of in the future. And we've noticed, I feel like this past year, this big turnover in people aren't able to get jobs right out of school. And like a lot of people that are unemployed are like quite employable just right out of college, because a lot of their jobs, like the more lower level jobs, can be done with AI. So how can, I guess, younger tech workers use AI to their advantage when sometimes it might be the thing stopping them from getting employed?
I think that's a question everyone is asking.
Yeah.
But honestly, let's be absolutely real here. AI is already doing up to like 50% of the coding at big companies, which is very efficient. But also, as you said, it made you junior roles the first to get downsized, and people are being let go. Employment growth in tech, which had been solid for like the past 2 decades, has started to dip, especially for workers aged between 20 and 30. And I think Goldman's data shows a 3-point spike in unemployment in that group this year alone. So people ask, like, what do we do now? What's the next step? Well, first, you have to lean into AI without fearing it. Become the person who knows how to use it, integrate it into your workflow, and optimize it as much as you can. Learn prompt engineering. I know it sounds redundant, but you have to learn it. Fine-tune models, or basically build tools that help others work with AI rather than work against AI. So that's how you stay indispensable. The second thing is that you have to think on a higher level here. AI might handle routine tasks, but doesn't handle strategy, doesn't handle ethics, doesn't handle meaning. If you can frame problems AI doesn't understand, like system-wide improvement or user empathy. By the way, it's a huge thing. User empathy is a huge thing. People think that AI might replace that. It won't. I don't think it will, because we still need humans. Or creative edge. You're irreplaceable as a human. So TLDR, if AI is shaking the floor, we have to build a whole ladder.
Totally. From
curious tools users to creative strategists to someone who orchestrates AI, not gets replaced by it. That's where the opportunity lies, in my opinion.
Yeah, it seems like it's somebody who can like organize it, use it to the best benefits, and also know where in the company to allocate resources for it. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But given that we're making this shift, we've talked in past weeks about electrical bills going up because of like more AI usage eventually and things like that. But something else that I wanted to mention is just like cybersecurity and like hacking concerns, because they're kind of coming up. And as we become a little more dependent on these kind of like everything in our household is smart or everything is AI capable, it seems like that could be a potential route in for some hackers. So what do you think the solution is there? Do you think there's also going to be this huge reckoning in the cybersecurity industry as AI is growing?
I think on like the worrying scale, we should be always on the lookout, because if you think like throughout history, and that's from a historical point of view, pirates and people that steal and people that do atrocities, let's say, have existed since the dawn of times. What if it was on the internet? And we've seen, with Gmail out and like with MSN even, there was a lot of hacking. So now with AI, because it's so fast, it's moving really fast, we also have to be vigilant. Like, it's not something that you should be worried about because it's AI. You should be worried about because people out there want to do bad stuff. So we should probably be worried. But like not in a sense where like, oh my God, it's bad. It's not Armageddon. It's just something that you have to handle right now because of AI. So I think at Black Hat this year, researchers showed a poisoned Google Calendar invite that could trick Gemini into turning off your lights or starting like a Zoom call or even turning on your boiler, which is insane. That wasn't just a glitch. It's your house basically remotely hijacked because of a text prompt. Right. And these are called prompt injection attacks, and they're becoming the next big cybersecurity threat. And the problem is that LLMs are black boxes. You don't know how they work to mess with them. So you just need to know how to speak their language in the right way. And with AI agents now being able to take actions from you online, these threats go from annoying to absolutely dangerous.
Yeah.
We need the AI equivalent of like a seatbelt, as anything else. There's always like firewalls and stuff, but there should be like strict guardrails and sandboxing, better validation of commands, and obviously, yes, AI models that can verify intent, not just respond to, whatever is thrown at them.
Yeah, agreed.
We're rushing to integrate AI into everything, but we haven't really secured the door. And now anyone with like a cleverly worded prompt can sneak in. So that, yes, we have to be absolutely on the go with everything. If it wasn't AI, something else. Someone walks into your house and breaks in, you're going to probably need to defend yourself. That's the same exact thing, but like online.
Mm-hmm. That's like a rising concern for people. And, we can end on like a different rising concern that maybe somebody's like thinking about cybersecurity that's like, oh, it's not affecting me right now. I don't exactly have the things. But something that I feel like is affecting people right now is a lot of airlines now are using AI to vary up their pricing. And, the airlines have been doing this since the beginning of time, in my view, of just like doing a dynamic pricing. Like things get more expensive, things get cheaper. You kind of can track them on some websites like Hopper or Kayak. But are deals, do you think, going to be a little harder to come by nowadays? I feel like the travel sector is already kind of inflated with the price. And will AI kind of help them inflate it even further?
I love the concern of like everyone that talks about like the flights and everything. People haven't seen Middle East Airlines with the prices. You guys should see that before you come. I'm joking.
Oh my God. Is it really bad? Is it awful?
I think if I need to fly home, it's like $900 or something.
Woo.
That's low season. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, but in terms of like Delta, they're testing AI to price flights more dynamically, and that's sparked some panic. I would be also panicking if that happened to me if I was living in the US. But also about surveillance pricing. So the idea that airlines will charge you more just because they can is not nice.
Yeah.
They're claiming that they're not using personal data, that just, good old fashioned market demand and forecasting. So you should think of it like as an Uber search pricing, but in the clouds, in the sky.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though, airline pricing has always been a black box. It's always been this way. And AI just makes it faster, more adaptive, and in theory, way more efficient, because it's AI. Would it kill cheap deals? I don't think so. Since the flights have become like digitized and online, people have found a way to find cheaper flights. There's always a deal out there. And if you and thousands of others, let's say me or you or anyone that is trying to book flights or, try to stop booking overpriced flights, the algorithm is going to learn from that. So demand still talks, I guess, in my opinion.
Yeah.
AI kind of might get smarter, but so will travelers. We're going to be one step ahead every single time.
Mm-hmm.
So that $37 one-way ticket to Chicago might still exist. You just might need to be a little sneakier to find it, in my opinion.
Yeah, you just got to really dig for those now. And I think, it's being
Exactly.
more diligent going forward. And I feel like I'm always so paranoid that I see a flight and it's a certain price. And then I feel like if I don't buy it that instant, I'm going to come back in like an hour and it's going to be $100 more, $50 more, or whatever have you. And that happens sometimes. So I think that's like the big concern here. But you're right. We will also always find cheaper flights if we have to.
100%.
Well, thanks for coming in, Maria. I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye-bye. All right, that'll do it for us today. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of HubSpot Media. Our editor is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a ton more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go get signed up at thehustle.co/email and follow us on Instagram at The Hustle Daily, and we'll see you later.
Look, I'm going to be straight with you. Everybody's talking about AI, but most people are just playing around with ChatGPT instead of actually making money from it. That's why we dropped the ultimate crash course to create your own AI side hustle in 7 days. We're talking real frameworks and strategies from the pros, like the founder of The Hustle, Sam Parr. It includes mini guides, templates, the whole 9 yards, stuff that takes years to figure out, condensed into 1 week. Stop what you're doing right now and grab it in the show notes. Your future self will thank you.